Good morning. This is a follow-up video to my last video. My last video I showed you how I lime pasteurized my straw. Now I'm going to show you the next step after that. So I let it sit in the lime water for about 10 hours or so. Then I lifted it out and let it drain overnight. So I'm doing a little experiment here. I'm mixing in some poplar sawdust I got from a local mill in with the straw. So it's a little. It was actually 20 pounds of straw. The materials I have here, I have lay flat tube, and I've taken one end and just kind of tied it off, and then rubber banded it. I got some grain spawn here from some pearl that I made on 9/27. I have some more rubber bands. I have some granulated gypsum, alcohol, paper towels, just to keep clean with. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need besides this hoo-ha. So I just pull it out and throw it in here. Alright, it's probably enough there. Now, usually I use a sixth of a cup on one of these trays full here, which makes about one bag or so, but I'm running low on my granular gypsum, so I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon here. Now what the granular gypsum does is this helps, acts as a pH buffer, so you want to keep everything on the base side, which is going to be 7.1 and up. 7 is neutral. That's the opposite of acid. Bacteria likes to live in acid. The mushrooms don't really mind the base. So now I'll put down my my spawn here. Mix it up real good. Alright. Now I'd like to make something so that I can stuff these bags easier, but I just haven't had time yet. So right now I'm just doing it by hand. But there's some guys out there who've made some pretty nice stuff just using buckets and rivets, making like the bucket into a funnel type shape. So I want to keep patting this down so that I get as much in here as possible and it's as packed as possible. Now this doesn't have any filter patch in it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut holes in this when I'm done so that it can breathe. It's pretty close to full. I just put it to the floor here. Just hanging up and down, kind of. Now we got a bunch more space. I'm going to pack it in there as best we can. So after this I'm going to switch to, this is pearl oyster mushrooms I'm doing right now. After this I'm going to switch to grays. So I got to use all this in this thing up here or throw it away, because I can't do a bag that's half pearl, half gray. And kind of compress it, let the air out, and then pull the bag up. This is going to make it like, it's actually going to be a vacuum in there. So when you cut it open, it's going to suck in air. So you want to make sure you're still in your clean environment. So speaking of clean environments, in here I run a ozone machine to help kill the airborne bacteria and stuff, and I don't use the air conditioner beforehand or have the windows open. I spray Lysol in the air to kind of get the airborne contaminants out. So there's this here. Now if I'm going to lay it down in the chamber, I'll just take it and bang it on the ground a few times to give it a flat spot. And then I'll stack it aside here, and I'll label it Pearl. Okay, so now I'm done packing all my bags up here. For my 20 pounds of substrate, after I soaked it, I made 67 pounds of this stuff, which is probably a little bit on the dry side, I'm not sure. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. I have, ended up making grays, blues, and pearl mushrooms here. These bags weren't packed as tight because I just didn't feel like packing them tight. But this one came out like a log. Look at that, that's like a log. So cutting, it's real simple. What I'll do is I got my razor blade here, and I just sterilize that a little bit. And so I will just cut a little door. I'll show you better in a second here. Like that. So I cut this little door here like this, and then what I'll do is I'll just put a little tape on here to kind of hold it closed, so that way a lot of moisture doesn't escape, and then the mushrooms will come out there. I've tried all kinds of different stuff with all different holes and whatnot, and I find this to be the best way. So for a big bag like this at 18 pounds, I'll do 2 on this side and 2 on this side. And then for a smaller bag like this 12-pound bag, I'll do 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. And if it's a filter patch bag, I just use the filter patch and cut the filter patch off after like a week or 10 days, depending on what the mushroom is. So I hope this was helpful. If you've got any advice for me, I'd love to hear it. I'm just starting out this. I just started doing this in April, so I'd love to hear some advice. Thank you very much.